Hello, my stinky little friends. The past few months have been so busy that I have been slacking on my reading. A good reading day can solve so many problems. So that is my plan for today. In addition to that, I usually read on my Kindle, but I have been craving the feeling of reading from a physical book. So I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble today and pick up a couple books. I'm gonna try and do it based on vibes. So I'm going in there and I'm looking at the books, and if I like the vibe, I'll pick it up and take a look. But what usually happens when I go into bookstores is I just revert back to the books that I've seen that other people have loved or that are recommended by my favorite booktubers. We're gonna see how it goes. Let's go buy a book. Okay, we're back from the bookstore, and these are the two books that I picked up. I picked this one up because I've seen it recommended by a lot of people that have great taste in books. Namely, I think the main person who recommended it was Peruse Project, and she always recommends the most incredible books, so I'm really excited to try this one. It's also very short, which is good for a reading slump, which is what I've been in for the last month or so. This one is How to Lose a Time War by Max Gladstone, and this one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I actually just the other day found the entire Once Upon a Broken Heart series in hardcover at the thrift store for $5 each, and I was so excited. And that is the sequel that's, oh, I guess it's not a sequel, it's a series that's in the same world as Caraval, but it includes some of the same characters but not all of them. But I actually haven't read this one. I really enjoyed Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I'm excited to try this one. My friend Jordan also recommended this one, and she has very good taste in books too. I also got this cute little bookmark. I usually just use receipts for bookmarks. I don't know. I don't really put much thought into them, but I saw this one, I thought it was so cute, so I got it. In this vlog, I'm mostly going to focus on How to Lose a Time War. This is the story of two agents on differing sides of a seemingly never-ending time war, and they are writing letters to each other. And that sounds so romantic. I don't know if it's a romance, but I'm very excited to find out. But before I start reading, I'm going to make a cup of tea and I'm going to get a sweet treat. So let's go do that. a reading update. I am 50 pages in. Those pages went by really quickly. I'm not sure if it's the pace of the book or more, so like it is quite large writing on the pages, so maybe that also helped, but I read this very, very fast. And I also wanted to say that I misspoke earlier. This book is co-written by Max Gladstone and Amal Mohtar. I completely missed that earlier. I guess I just didn't read the front cover. So my first thoughts are this book is very intelligent compared to the brain rot fairy smut that I have been reading for the past years, months. I was struggling a little bit at the very beginning. I think I have made myself illiterate through only reading fairy smut and Kindle Unlimited books, but I'm back in action now, and I'm starting to comprehend a little bit better what actually is going on. The two agents are called Red and Blue. Blue is on the side of the garden, which is like a single consciousness, organic matter, whatever that means. And then Red is on the side of technology. Plants versus robots? In the dumbest way of explaining it possible, plants versus robots. So far, I'm extremely confused, but very intrigued. It's written very well. I think you're supposed to be confused. I don't think that's completely just me. You're kind of like dropped, each chapter you're dropped into a different part of the Time War, a very small part of Red and Blue's lives, where they come across a letter from the other agent. They're always in a completely different time, a completely different place, and I think you're supposed to feel confused as to what the heck is actually going on, because what even is a time war? It's very different to all the books that I've read just in general, in that most books follow a singular timeline and they also explain everything that's going on through context over time, so you like are slowly gathering more and more of the story. This one, I feel like you're just kind of dropped into different parts of the story with no real context, no clues about what's going on, and it feels like you are almost just like peeking into someone else's story for like 2 seconds and then closing it and then opening it again at a different point in the story. I'm very curious to see where it's going. I'm really enjoying it so far. Also, a slight detour. At the bookstore this morning, there were a ton of like spooky season books coming out, and that, don't get me wrong, that makes me so excited. But I know there's a big push right now to like start fall in the middle of August or the beginning of August. I personally cannot get on board with that because there is no AC in this house and it is still 80s outside. It would feel sacrilegious to start celebrating fall when I'm just constantly sweating all the time. I wish I could get on board, but I feel like for me, the different seasons are all about the weather. I can't believe I just said that. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever said. Of course, seasons are about the weather. But what I'm trying to say is that first cold day when the leaves are starting to change, you can't force that. I can't force that by reading a spooky book. I'm not gonna get the same feeling reading a spooky novel right now as I would when it's cold outside. I'm just not, and I can't fake it, and I wish I could. All that is to say, I personally am gonna wait a few months before starting to read spooky books, but you do what you wanna do. Whatever makes you happy, you do it. I'm gonna keep reading now, and I will see you guys in a little bit with another reading update. Okay, I'm back with my last reading update for the day. I read like another 20-ish pages, I think. My thoughts are that this is gonna be a very sad book. And in addition to that, I think Blue and Red are the only two people in the whole universe that could understand each other the way that they do. Can I help you? The idea that both of them were so desperately lonely before they started writing letters to each other is just so sad. Yeah, the fact that I can feel this many emotions in this short amount of time into the book is crazy. I think it's gonna be really sad. But in other news, I ordered a dinner I'm very excited about. I'll show you guys when it gets here. And yeah, I think for the rest of the night I'm just gonna hang out with my family and watch some TV. I will read some more tomorrow and give you guys an update. Hey Stinkies! We spent the morning hanging out with my family and it was really fun, but now it's time to put on some comfy clothes, make some tea, and read some more of my book. Hi! Hi Bushy Bush! Okay, I'm back. I got my comfy clothes on, I got my tea, and I got my book, and I got some puppy dogs. Don't mind my hair. I was wearing a hat all morning and it looks kind of crazy right now. If you don't care and I don't care, nobody cares. Who cares, Mr. Squib? Oh. Squid cares. Squid cares what I look like, apparently. Alright, let's get reading. Quick little side note to say that we found this cute little tea shop here in Colorado and I got, I think it's called Tart Cherry Turmeric Green Tea, and it's the most delicious tea I've ever had in my life. And I'm so excited that we live close to like a little loose leaf tea store. Cheers. I'm taking a quick break to go and eat dinner, but I've read over 100 pages. It's so good. It's so good. I love this book. It's so good. But I'm gonna go eat and then come back and read some more. And I'm hoping that I can finish the book either tonight or tomorrow. So, yeah.
What's up next?
Okay, let's chat about this book. Like I said earlier, I love it. But I can tell that this is gonna break my heart. This whole book is written like a poem. It's like poetry the whole time. It's gorgeous. This writing is beautiful. And the lives that these two characters lead are just so heartbreaking. I think the reason why it took me so long to be able to like get what was going on is not because I'm stupid, was because it's not based in any kind of reality. It doesn't follow any kind of like laws, natural laws, physics, like any of that. It doesn't really follow that. It's completely fictional. Well, obviously. If only I was half as intelligent as I can be in my own head. Like the conversations that I have in my own head are so intelligent, you have no idea. The words that come out of my mouth, doggy doo-doo, doggy poo-poo doo-doo. The point that I was trying to get to is once I stopped trying to apply like the normal laws of nature and everything to what was happening in this book, I can understand it way better. The other thing that I wanted to say was the way that these two characters have to constantly adopt new personas and even look different and act different and be completely different people because they're always undercover in some fashion. The only time that they are truly themselves is in these letters to each other, and that is so romantic. They're so romantic. They haven't even spoken to each other. They have only spoken through these letters that they're writing, and it's so romantic. I'm gonna read some more and then let you guys know how I'm feeling. Okay guys, I think this is gonna be my last update for today. I've read like another, I don't know, but I've only got like 40 pages left, so I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. But what I was trying to say earlier is I feel like what is happening and what they are like actually going through is so vague compared to the letters on purpose, because the letters feel so real. The world around them is like just so ever-changing and vague on purpose that it makes the letters feel even more steadfast. Does that make sense? Like they give stability to each other through the letters. I feel like the characters in this book are Romeo and Juliet if Romeo and Juliet were undercover agents on opposing sides of a never-ending time war that is ruled by vague, all-knowing entities. That is to say that this book is completely unlike any other book I've ever read before. After I've read this, I will happily go back to my fairy smut feeling very intelligent and better than everyone else. The last thing I would say about these characters is that despite everything that they have done through their roles as being undercover agents, they've like killed, they've tortured, they've done everything bad that you can possibly do. And the fact that they are like not really even human. They feel so human in their emotions and their wants and their hunger and their yearning. Ugh, I love it. And I know that I love this book even though I probably don't understand most of it. I think that's a pretty good sign that it's a good book. Good morning. This morning I'm going to finish the book, but first I need to water the garden. And I also wanted to show you guys how good it's doing. Well, most of it's doing good. Some of it's being eaten by bugs, but let me show you. Please excuse the construction work that for some reason is going on next door at 7 AM, but you can see that the bugs love the basil. The rosemary is doing really good. So is the thyme. I think the pepper was flowering. Yeah, it is. You can see it in there. It's flowering right there, which means that the pepper should come soon. The tomato plant has 2 baby tomatoes, I think. Yes, it does. Look right there. You see them? How cute is that? I don't think this guy has anything yet. No, I didn't see anything. I finished it. Wow. This is by far one of the most unique books I've ever read. It was really, really good. I think I would probably give it like 4.5 stars out of 5. I want to reread it immediately. If you guys can hear the construction outside, I'm sorry. My window is closed and it is still this loud. This book is absolutely a tragedy. I think that my comparison to Romeo and Juliet Romeo and Juliet earlier was very apt considering how the book ends. I did not see the plot twist coming, and that's cool because I've been able to see just about every plot twist in every book that I've read recently, mostly because I read the same kind of books. I think that the only reason it's not a 5 for me is because I do find it tougher to really know the characters in a book like this where you're only seeing snippets of their lives. I know how they talk to each other and how they are, the stability for one another. I don't really understand their backstory or where they're from or what they are, just because this book is purposely vague about all of that kind of stuff. I think I need more context for them to give it a 5, but then that would ruin the point of the book too, so I don't really know what I want actually. Anyway, I think that this book is incredible. If you're looking for a very short, unique read, this is the one for you. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye!